Good afternoon. I'm Allyson Lewis, and we are here today for our program on project management, how to build a project workflow. And I'm delighted that people are here today because project management is a key element to getting things done and to getting them done on time in an effort in a way that is most efficient. Now, when it comes to project management, it is a piece of work that is constantly evolving. You know, in our own company, we look at project management and we have to make sure that we're aware of all the projects that people are working on, that we understand what is moving us forward. And so as we move into project management, I think the first key question as you're planning out your time is, are the projects that you're focusing on moving you toward a goal? Therefore, all project management has to begin with what is it that you're trying to accomplish? Now, that's a big 50,000-foot question, but I think we lose sight of that often, that when we're working in a company or we're working in our own business, and we have to keep sight of what is it? What is that laser focus that we're trying to accomplish, not only for today, but also for the next 90 days, for the next year, for the next 5 years. So as I'm teaching this class, I want to make sure that this is something that is at top of mind. It is hard to believe that half the year has already passed by. So I want to dive in to project management. And today, the case study that I'm going to use is building out a business strategy for the next 90 days. You know, the 7-Minute Life is a 90-day platform. We've intentionally done that because businesses are measured by quarter, but also because that's how nature runs. We have winter, spring, summer, and fall. So go ahead and grab a piece of paper, grab a pen, and let's talk about how you can create your business strategy for the next 90 days. Now, we're going to be using 2 tools. So let me show you how to access those. The 2 tools that we'll be using today, the first one is the Project Buckets worksheet. I'm going to show you how to access that, but make sure you write that down, the Project Buckets worksheet. And the second is the Project Management worksheet. As we go through this process, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to write down, obviously, what is your goal? Because you want your projects and your workflows to move toward reaching a goal. So the first thing you're going to do is create project buckets, and then you're going to take each one of those projects and break them down into a step-by-step workflow. Now, I'm going to go ahead and open up and share my screen. So I'm going to stop sharing for just a moment. And I'm going to go into a different platform. So let's see if this will pull up. Now, I'm doing a lot more with an iPad. I found that having tools at the touch of my hands is still really important, being able to write and find all of those things. So with the 7-Minute Life University, with your subscription that you have, I want to make sure that you're able to locate all of these pieces. So I'm now on my iPad. At the very bottom, and I'm not sure if you can see this, if I put my finger on it, I guess you can see it. At the very bottom, I have put and bookmarked the 7-Minute Life University. This is where, if you remember, you'll access all of the pieces. And today we're going to be accessing those 2 tools, the project buckets and the individual projects, and that's a workflow. How do you find those? You're going to go to your home tab, which is this tab. You're going to click on View Class. This is where all of the tools are. You're going to click on this top tab here. I'm trying to make sure you do that. You click on that tab, and it's going to take you into the Tools section of the 7-Minute Life University. I'm going to then go to right here. I'm going to go to Project Management, and I'm going to click on Project Management. And now you'll have access to all of the tools that have to do with project management. The 2 that we're going to focus on today, the first one is the project buckets. As I click that and download the tool, The second one is the individual worksheet. And so let me go backwards, go back to project management. Oops, thinking. I'm going to go back to project management. I'm going to go into the individual project notes, and you'll see that that will open the individual project notes. Now, for those of you on the webinar live, or if you are looking at this as a replay, if you have any questions, learning how to access these, please reach out to us at support@the7minutelife.com. Now, I have already downloaded these. And so I'm going to go, well, I can do it this way. I've already downloaded these, and I'm going to begin to walk you through how we use the project buckets. Now, remember, today we're going to be talking about how do you build a business plan. So the first thing that you're going to want to do, again, if you're just using a piece of paper, feel free to draw these buckets. It's a pretty simple thing to do. I thought I could show you how to do that using a pen and a piece of paper. So as you look at it, the first thing that you're going to want to put down is, what is it that your project is leading toward? So in this case, our project is leading toward having a 90-day business plan. We are really focusing on trying to help you have interactive pieces with this. So it's not just so much lecturing, but a lot more of interaction. So be thinking about how this applies to you. In a business plan, we see a lot of pieces, and one of the key pieces is making sure that you have a mission statement. I do think that that is important, that as you go back each quarter, being able to sit down and say, why are you willing to work so hard on this? You know, what is your why? What drives you? As you try to create that clarity, why are you in business? What is it that you sell? We have a lot of people in real estate that are on these classes. Why are you in real estate? Well, there are a lot of reasons. One, the flexibility that you have. Two, the opportunity to make money, to generate income. Three, the fact that you're helping people with one of the biggest decisions that they'll ever make. Or what if you are in a different area? What if you're an entrepreneur or have a small startup? You want to think about, what is the problem that you're solving for people? So the very first part that I would encourage you over the next 90 days is to step back and to create a mission. And here's the question for why you're going to be willing to focus on certain things for the next 90 days. The second thing that I would encourage you to do is to create a description. Again, I hope you're taking notes as I do this. A description of what you sell. Now that may sound really basic, but go back and think through when you were learning to become whatever executive or whatever role that you were playing. The very first thing you had to do is deep understanding, to create a deep understanding in your business plan. Be very clear about articulating what products you sell. This is something that we're going through at the same time every 90 days. What is it that you really sell? Who are you selling it to? How are you going to sell it? How are you going to price it? How are you going to market it? So all of these pieces becoming very clear about what it is. Another thing that I think we sometimes forget about is that it's, as you're creating your business plan. Now, I guess it depends on if you're working on your own or working with a team. I would encourage you this quarter to go back and create an updated biography. I'd like you to create a description of yourself that you feel like would sell to other people. As part of your business plan, recreate your biography. What are the skills that you bring to the table? What are the processes that you can help people through? What makes you different? And then I think this is something we all have to do. I think we then have to translate that into action by putting that out on our LinkedIn profiles, updating our websites, any kind of public facing information that we have, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn. Go back to the business plan, go back to the basics. So what we have talked about so far is in your 90-day business plan, you want to start with your long-term goals. What is it that you do? Is it revenue? Is it market share? Is it awareness? Is it whatever those things are? Step one, start out with your mission. Why is it important to you? Step two, describe what you sell. Step three, update your own personal biographies, your skills, the processes, what makes you different. Be sure to put that out first. And then I think the same thing is true about coming up with an updated corporate description. So as I'm looking at my notes, the fourth step would be coming up with a corporate description. And what I mean by that and how is it different is that what is it that your company or you do for your company? What are the description, DESCRI? And so beyond that, what are the products that you sell? What are the services that you sell? How is your company different? What does your company bring to the table? And so those are the kind of things. That's step four. And then you want to look, I think, in your business plan at what your competitors are doing. Competitors. What are your competitors doing? One of the simplest ways to create a business strategy is to look at who's done it before and who's done it really well. Look at their profiles, look at the actions they take, look at how they run their business. How do they market their business? Who are they reaching out to? So do some competitive analysis and look at that for your 90-day business plan. And then update your products and services. So, we've talked about updating your own biography, updating your business biography, and now it's time to freshen up those product descriptions and the services descriptions. So, and I think this is a really hard thing to do. We often get so close to our own product and we forget that people don't know what we do. And not just the 7-minute life, but doesn't matter what industry you're in. Let's say that you're a financial advisor. A lot of times people may not know what a financial advisor really does. And I was a financial advisor with Morgan Stanley and Merrill Lynch for 31 years. But until I told people, what did that mean? It meant that we could help with budgeting. We could help with asset management, with stocks and bonds and estate planning. We could help create a net worth statement, all of those things. And people didn't know. So whatever it is, update and refresh your product descriptions. The next step, and so there are 3 more, we've now talked about 6 things. There are 3 more that I think that we can do. The next thing is to create your revenue goals. Well, let me make that a little different. I'm going to put down sales and revenue goals. Part of a business plan has got to be creating what it is that you really want to accomplish. If we don't know what those things are in a concrete vision, then we never know if we're hitting those things or not. I really feel like that's important. The next thing is marketing. How are you going to market it? How are you going to market? What is your market strategy for the next 90 days? So when you do this project management and creating that workflow, not only is it important to know what projects you're focusing on, but you want to look backward at what worked. You want to look forward at what will work better. And then I think those things are key. And then in your business plan, the very final thing that I would put down is how are you going to measure? How are you going to measure success? What are going to be your metrics? So I'm going to turn this up this way and let's see what that does. When I look at creating a business plan, I want to create project buckets. Project buckets in this worksheet make it very simple for me to see things clearly. That is how my brain thinks. I want to have simple descriptions. And so by using something this simple visually with nothing more than a pen and either a piece of paper or using it in a digital format like I'm looking at it, it can just make things a lot simpler. So there are 9 steps in this project that we want you to take action on. Now, the 7-minute life is incredibly aware that outlining the projects does not accomplish the project. And so it's great that we create plans, but now it's time to take those plans and turn them into action. It's the action, it's the actual determining your why. How are you going to do that? It's actually describing what you sell. It's creating that bio. How are you going to do that? And when is it going to get done? And, recently we have really been updating our projects and descriptions. So that's what I want to take us to next is, okay, great. Now we have the overarching project. The overarching project is how do I create a business plan for the next 90 days? That's the goal. And then I've broken that down into several different things that I can actually do. These are projects that I can focus on. Now, how do you take that and break it down? So I'm going to focus on breaking down products and descriptions. And I'm going to use our business as an example. This is the second worksheet. So much of what the 7-minute life teaches is having not just concepts, but being able to actually make those actionable. And I think it's great timing because now we're about to go into the third quarter, which is crazy. So I'm going to blow this up and I'm going to put today's date on it. Let me scooch this a little bit. So today, if you're watching this in the future, I'm just going to put 5/24 and I won't put the date down. And the due date for this is 7 days from now. So the workflow, and let me give it a, well, we don't use project numbers, but the concept of this is product descriptions, product and services descriptions. Okay, so now I have a new piece of paper. This is a part of a workflow. And all I'm going to do initially is I'm just going to brainstorm. I think that we don't create the plan first. So we're not sure, we just start throwing things at a project. So as I look at each of these individual steps, what I would do is I would begin to write down. Okay, so we're looking at products and services. So what does that mean? So what are the products that you sell physically starting out? What are the products? And I'm going to skip down a little bit. What are the services? And so the next step that you would have would be that you create a list of the products. Now, again, even if you're not selling a product line, as a financial advisor, we had products. We actually had financial plans that we could sell. We had credit cards. We had mortgages. We had physical products that we could sell. What if you're a realtor? What are those physical products that you can sell? Homes. Is it commercial property? Is it, I don't know all the different transactions, but what are the physical products? So don't miss out on the fact that almost every company does sell a product. The next thing is create a list of your services. Some of these services are for pay and some of them are not for pay. Our products and services include the 7-Minute Life University membership, which you're a part of. Our products include this daily planner, whether you are downloading it or have purchased it off the store, being able to use that. Our products include our books, our coaching, our master classes. So being able to write all of those things down, the services that we have, whether it's coaching or teaching these webinars or creating that real understanding of how can you execute on the tools that we've given you. So as you go through this process, you're going to brainstorm. And I think that's a step we miss. You know, we come into this, we say, okay, we know we need product descriptions, but we haven't really said, what does that mean? What is it? What does a product description mean? And then the final piece over on this side is who is responsible. So who is going to do that? So many of us on these calls are entrepreneurs. So it's going to land back on our shoulders to accomplish these things. Now, when you're looking at project flow and you're trying to get to that place where the project is finished, there's a third step. Let me flip this back up again. Here's the third step. First thing you have to do, obviously you want your project management to wrap around the goals that you're focusing on. Then you outline the projects that it will take. So in this case, we've talked solely about creating a 90-day business plan. You then take the projects and you break them down into the different details that you'll need. Now, here's the problem, is that if I say I want to update the products and services description, and let's say that we have 7 to 10 products, that's going to take hours to do. So you cannot come in and put on your daily to-do list, update. And this is where I think we all get turned around, is update product descriptions. You cannot put that on your to-do list because it's too big. We say anything that's going to take longer than 20 minutes is actually a project in its own. And what we want you to do is to be able to break down all of these things into what we call micro actions. So what's a step that could actually be a micro action? How do you actually take something and finish it? The first step would be, the first step might be, and let me change colors here, simply to set time to create a list of your products and services. Just to create a list. The second, because that wouldn't take 10 minutes maybe. The second thing that you could do is look at competitors' products and services. Just look at that for 20 minutes. How are they describing them? Do you like it more? How are you describing them? And then step by step, the third thing you might do is take one product and create a description. So what does that look like in reality? You would then go to your daily planner, life planner. You would go back. Let me stop sharing my screen because I want to get to a page. Hang on one second. I want to get to a page that I can actually show. Thumbnails. I'm going to go to a page that has not been used yet. Let's see. Okay, so this is a blank planner. I'm going to come in here, share my screen one more time as we wrap up. As we're looking at this, we've gone through the project management worksheet. Oh, let me share the correct place. Stop share. And now you're going to go to your daily progress report. This is where the rubber meets the road. When you're looking at creating your to-do list, what is it that you're going to do today? Now, if you've been with us a long time, you know that when you come into the office, I did this morning, you physically set a timer for 7 minutes. It's during that 7 minutes that you actually will go back and you'll talk about what are the goals that you're working on? What are the projects that you're working on? You're going to look at your calendar and see what you have today. You're going to look at what you didn't complete yesterday. And you're going to take that 7 minutes and create a to-do list for today. And every day is a clean slate. So when you start creating your to-do list for today, if right now I'm working on project descriptions, if that's part of the project that I'm working on, then on this list or on my to-do list, I would write create a list of projects. I mean, a list of products. And within 20 minutes, maybe less, I could physically check that off my list. So that's the whole part of project management workflow. It's being able to take a big goal, something that is really important for you to do, to then take that big goal and use simple tools. In this case, we've gone into the university and we've looked at simply 2 tools, the projects bucket worksheet and the individual projects. But it's great to plan these things out. The harder part is executing. But still today in project management, what is it that you're accomplishing? How do you break down each piece? And then the big key is, what are you going to do today that you can start and finish within 20 minutes? As I close out this webinar, let me stop sharing for a moment. I was visiting with my mother, and my mother is 88 years old. And she said to me, Allyson, let me define time management for you. Time management is when you write something on your to-do list, you focus on that one thing and you get it done. And then you look at your to-do list, you find the second thing, you focus on that second thing and you get it done. Then the third thing and you get it done and you get it done. You don't start it and not finish it. And the example she used is, I would take my laundry down this last weekend and all I would do is take it downstairs. And she said, Allyson, if your goal is to do your laundry, bring it downstairs and put it in the washing machine and turn on the washing machine. That's what we forget about. We forget about writing these to-do lists. That's not getting things done. The 7-Minute Life Daily Planner is about being able to take daily action, writing down what we're going to do. And then as a community, the beauty of being in the 7-Minute Life University membership is being able to come week after week and get that encouragement. Now, I hope I've encouraged you today. My mother encouraged me yesterday. Time management has everything to do with how are you going to spend your time today. So that's what our class is. I know that these pieces of going from goals to projects to taking daily actions are encouraging to me. So I want to encourage you. It is that simple. So let's go out. Let's create our project lists. Let's break them down and let's start doing them. So the 7-Minute Life is here. We're delighted that you've been here today. Go and download those tools from the university. If you have any trouble, please reach out to us at support@the7Minute Life and mark your calendar for every week, because we're going to have classes just like this one. Tell your friends we're excited that you are here, and we will see you on the next class. Thanks. I'm Allyson Lewis. Bye-bye.